Welcome everybody to episode 18, and I made Mr. Matt jump there a little bit.
It was a little bit too loud in the beginning. That's great technical prowess on my part.
And in this week's episode, it's going to be very wrestling heavy because it is a big wrestling weekend this weekend. We both
Shocker. Wrestling heavy podcast.
We have NXT War Games on Saturday. That's coming up, and obviously Survivor Series. There's
big weekend.
Yes, a very big weekend. Also have some other wrestling news. Jordan Myles has been released by the WWE according to and confirmed by Sean Ross Sapp.
Multiple sources.
And other multiple
the credit him, yes, too. I'm sorry.
We also have the whole Jim Cornette situation. We'll briefly touch on that. But at the very top that I want to get into, Matt, and it's this whole nonsense going on with the Cleveland Browns, more specifically with our good buddy Myles Garrett and him essentially accusing or allegedly him saying that what provoked him to go on his insane tirade was supposedly Mason Rudolph said a racial slur, which I am very, very skeptical of for many reasons. But like hey Matt, why don't you lead off here?
For one thing, how does this make any sense? That's poor timing. If that was the thing that started it, wouldn't you say that immediately after?
Right after the game, yeah.
And wait, find a tweet from, I just remembered, from a local sports personality, Bob Pompiani. If I could find him.
Let's also not forget to
what were you saying?
And also he also Myles Garrett came out with a statement, and this was after the NFL upheld his suspension, basically saying quote he knew what he said was one part.
But here's a picture quote. I'm looking at a picture of what Myles Garrett said 6 days ago, or in your case, if you're listening, probably I think 8 days ago. Quote: "Last night I made a terrible mistake. I lost my cool, and what I did was selfish and unacceptable. I know that we are all responsible for our actions, and I can only prove my true character through my actions moving forward. I want to apologize to Mason Rudolph, my teammates, our entire organization, our fans, and to the NFL. I know I have to be accountable for what happened, learn from my mistake, and I fully intend to do so." Doesn't sound like anybody who's angry that somebody said a racial slur at them.
Nope. And I'm
sure bring that up a week later.
A week later, and I'm sure that this was something that his team thought of, like, oh, hey, he's a Trump supporter. You know, he follows a whole bunch of conservatives on social media.
Who's this, Mason?
Yep, Mason Rudolph. We're gonna take a shot at that, but this literally makes no sense. Like, if I was a black man and like if I got that directed right at me, I would be telling every little soul, hell, you know that this was a flat out freaking lie.
And everybody around there that was involved said that didn't happen.
No, like literally every single teammate, not one teammate of this guy came out in his defense because you know why? It never happened. Like, and two, if he somehow heard this, wouldn't say David DeCastro, Matt Fowler, Marquise Pouncey, Ramon Foster, any one of those guys? No, not a single one came out and and not even anyone on the Cleveland Browns stated as much. Like,
even the NFL said there was no evidence.
There was no evidence of anything happening. So basically, this was just a very poor attempt in Myles Garrett trying whatever possible to get his suspension decreased. Now, I feel if they do find out that he indeed lied about this, the NFL needs to definitely tack on some more games for next year. Like, this is a serious accusation. Does he have any idea what type of freaking label that you now yourself are now placing on Mason Rudolph? Like, what do you think that the perception is going to be with a good portion of people? Is that he is this person? Like, it's just like, I lost so much respect. Like, I already hated the guy. I'm like Myles Garrett, but now like this is just a complete, like, I don't even know what the words to exactly say. Like, when I read this, I'm like, okay, I could buy this if there were, like, some form of proof. Like, why didn't you say anything after the game? There were so many times after the game where he had a chance to speak out and he never did.
I think he was just doing this a last grasp at a appeal hearing to get his thing reduced, and it backfired tremendously.
And
makes him look bad.
If you saw the NFL statement, it pretty much essentially said, we don't believe you at all. Like, it just, the fact that they even just said that the suspension was upheld, meaning like no matter what he said, and I guarantee you that they probably asked him, okay, like, why are you telling us this now? And if his thing goes, well, I never had the right opportunity, so after the game, hell, you didn't even tell any of your teammates without the freaking media in front of you. You didn't even tell any of your teammates this. It just, and his whole thing was, well, I didn't. Maybe his whole thing was, well, I didn't want this to leak out. But if what you said is true, then why would you not want this to leak out? You are suspended for the whole entire season. Your season's over. Like, there's just too many logic gaps in this whole story to make me or anyone else, especially Steeler fans, believe that this man is even remotely telling the truth here.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a stupid situation all around. Again, you don't need to bring the race card into that. That's, if it's unnecessary. That's the last grasp.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah. Anywho, on a similar topic, Colin Kaepernick.
Oh boy.
Held a workout a couple days ago, and pretty much was just a what's the word I'm looking for? Stunt show?
Yeah. And like to me, both sides are clearly at like wrong here, but like I came away from that feeling that the whole thing that Colin Kaepernick in the NFL did was definitely a stunt show, more so on Colin Kaepernick's part, but there's clearly just zero trust between both sides, and I completely understand it. But supposedly what I read and found out was like the whole issue came to a waiver form, which I understand, like, him trying to trust the NFL and all, but if you had issues with everything going on, why would you tell the NFL this 30 minutes before the scheduled workout at the Atlanta Falcons facility, because supposedly there was 25 representatives 25 representatives at that facility, and because they changed the actual venue, that there was, I believe, only eight representatives. Like Colin Kaepernick just did not do himself any favors here. Like, if you truly want to get back into football, which I have a lot of serious doubts about that. I feel like he just wants to just portray this persona and just portray that like, hey, I'm trying to get back into football without doing everything possible to get back into football. And yes, you can nitpick certain things, but I mean, just how the whole thing was structured and how it was all facilitated, just it came off really bad for me. And I'm like, you even saw some comments from the Seattle Seahawks, where like they were interested, I felt, but like they just feel like that this guy is going to be more about himself, which I think is pretty clear, and I get it, but just like little things that I feel like that should have been done better here.
Yeah, I don't even read much into this, to be honest, because like I'm just annoyed at this point with him. It's just drama with this guy, and regardless if you think what he did was right or wrong, but it's I'm just annoyed. It's just unnecessary. It's just too much drama. I keep saying it. At this point, I don't care. I didn't care to read the story. I kind of looked right now as you were talking about exactly what happened, but I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, and obviously it's going to be making headwaves, but like I don't see how anything is going to change now, especially now where he just kind of just reinforced why teams are not going to sign him. Like, he claims that he is ready. He's ready to go, and he wants to actually play. I mean, his actions tell me otherwise. He comes off like a guy who's just trying to put up a front here, because let's be honest, he has made more money now by just doing what he's been doing, and then being a like backup quarterback in the NFL. It's like, like he has a freaking endorsement deal with Nike. He never had that as a player. That it only happened when he started kneeling and everything. Just like, I don't even care about the kneeling part. It's just everything that has happened since then, and he has not spoken to anyone since this whole thing happened. Like, if you, like, he said he wanted to be completely transparent. So then why did he not take any questions afterwards then? Like, if we're being completely transparent, like, just small things like that, just as you said, Matt, it's really annoying, and quite frankly, I'm sick of everyone talking about it. But it's a story that's always going to be developing, and it's not going away anytime soon. And
what else is not going away anytime soon, if I'm trying to make a segue here, is our subscription to Disney Plus.
Nope.
It's week 2, pretty much, second week. What have you been watching so far?
I've been watching, I was watching the Walt Disney documentary. It's
Imagineering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been see the first part.
Yeah. I've watched episodes 1 and 2 so far. It's kind of just describing Disney's rise to power, describing all of the hardships it was building Disneyland and Disney World. And something else I had no idea about, there was a Disneyland in freaking Japan, which I
don't think I remember that.
I had no idea that they had one, and supposedly that whole thing came up on complete accident when they were building Epcot in Florida, and basically they with the Japanese, they just kept on bothering the execs here, and essentially Japan forked over most of the actual bill, and yeah, and from then on, like as far as their expansion internationally, just became a lot more simple, obviously. But you just see just the amount of people that it has touched, and just even seeing this, you just feel you just don't feel like you're completely out of reality, I mean, it definitely brought back some memories as a kid when I went to Disney World and to Epcot and everything. You can kind of see, and you are reminded of just how big that this company has gotten, and what an influence that Walt Disney and his brother was in building this company and eventually becoming to what they eventually became.
Yeah, I gotta watch that second episode. I totally forgot about that. Maybe after this recording. Another thing I started to do is I wanted to once again go through the Star Wars movies and start watching the animated series Rebels and Clone Wars, and watch that in the correct order. So the other day I started episode 1, Phantom Menace, and
yeah, I binge to I watch the Hamill films from episode 4 to episode 6 on Saturday, and I even started on Sunday watching the prequels, and just remind me of what I hated. Freaking Jar Jar.
You know what? I'll say it. And there was a hashtag on Twitter, Starfight in 4 words, but I'm not going to use 4 words. I didn't mind Jar Jar. I don't mind him.
I'm not going to debate this. I'm just going to get mad because yes, F Jar Jar.
I don't see what the big deal is.
He sucks. The end. Yeah. Have you read a funny fan theory that he was actually a Sith Lord?
But yeah, but that's almost impossible because
right.
They say only 2 at a time, and that would be 3. So lies.
Obviously, yeah.
I don't mind Jar Jar. It really didn't kill his story.
His face pisses me off.
His face.
Yes.
That's what the problem is.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've heard that annoyance. Another thing, watching that movie again, I realized how CGI came far away from after 6, but it wasn't perfect in terms of this movie.
That's
an
understatement.
I mean, looking at it or watching it in 4K, there is some good visuals. I like the visuals, but having Jar Jar Binks standing next to, or any animated computer CGI character next to a human, it looks like it wasn't really finished editing. If you ever see extra behind the scenes, deleted scenes of any movie with CGI, and the deleted scenes that are not quite done with the CGI, and you could obviously tell that there's a computer generated image next to a human. That's what almost felt like the times, especially in the close-ups. It's really jarring. Besides that, I think visually it looks good. I still don't get the hate on the baby Anakin, because it's a freaking kid. Like, what do you expect him to be, like Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah, I don't get that. But I don't know if I don't hate this movie as much as I want to hate it. I'll probably watch it again. Probably hate 2 more just because of Anakin's acting. I forget who's the actor that played him. Oh my god, I can't think. Oh my god. Anybody listening to this is probably yelling at me right now. But you know who. I can't think. But the whole love thing, it was just, it wasn't good. That annoyed me when I first watched the prequels a couple years ago in order. I was like, too much love.
In episode 1 or in
2.
Oh,
because 1, he's still a kid. He hasn't grown up yet. 2, he's like grown up and he's in love with Padme, and it's just love, and it's like too lovey-dovey from a guy, a Jedi. It's just it gets to the annoying part. But yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Hayden
Christensen. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe I forgot that name. And then we watched. I guess we both caught up with episode 2 of The Mandalorian, which somebody on the Twitter said it reminded them of a Samurai Jack episode. If you've watched that cartoon, not a lot of dialogue from our main character, just a lot of walking and fighting, which still no complaint from me. And Baby Yoda is cute. I want one.
Yeah, like someone placed in a tweet. You have to kill one between Baby Yoda and Baby Groot.
Oh, definitely. By Groot, I'm burning you down.
Well,
Yoda has
isn't that tough?
Yoda has. It is tough, but I see how Baby Groot deals with things that can explode, buttons that are dangerous, and you don't want them to push, and he would screw stuff up. But Baby Yoda has the Force and wants to heal you, and so yeah.
I have spoken.
Yoda all the way. I fight me. Don't at me. So
okay, Seth Rollins.
Episode 3 will come out, or chapter 3 technically.
I'm like Friday, right?
Friday,
yep.
Which is tomorrow for us.
Yeah.
Yesterday for you. So we're gonna watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna be Star Wars heavy, probably slowly. It's gonna be just too much crap to watch. Just besides Disney Plus and just everything else in life. Yeah, I have no life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what can you do? But anything more to add?
I don't think. But Baby Yoda has all the rage right now.
Yark.
This next point we want to talk about, I have not heard about this. You put this on here in this email, so you're probably going to have most of the thoughts on this. But we have Charlie's Angels director comments about box office tanking, blames men.
Yeah.
I did not hear this.
Yeah. I'm Google that and you'll find out. So basically, the director, I forget her name, but but if you guys haven't heard, I believe that Charlie's Angels only did about like 8.6 million on the opening weekend, which was essentially a pretty big flop. So the director.
Wait. There was a movie that came out just recently.
Yep, last weekend.
Honest the freaking God,
Mhm.
right hand of the God. I did not know a movie came out.
Well, I don't blame you, but anyways, so basically, she blames the failure of Charlie's Angels on like men because she thinks that women's action led roles do not ever draw well, which is funny because hey Matt, we had Captain Marvel, right? That did pretty good. We had
I think.
which by the way did over $1 billion, by the way. We also had Wonder Woman, right?
I believe so, John.
How about any of the 3 Hunger Games? How about that, huh? It's just like it's like, how about the fact that you just produced a terrible film that to be perfectly honest, there was no real interest with. Not to mention too, when you
there was no, honest to God, I probably saw previews when we went to the movies, but correct me if I'm wrong, at least I never saw any commercials for it.
Yeah, like I don't think
I've been living under a rock.
They didn't really promote it well, and on top of that, if you look at their cast, I don't think that there's anything wrong with this woman, but who was the chick who was in Twilight?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, she was one of the 3 angels, and she has a stigma to her. It is what it is. Do I think that's fair? No, but like it's there. So like I just don't understand a point in like this director burying Spider-Man films. Instead, like it's all because of like a men dominated action films where there's clear and obvious success films by like multiple female led roles. Like it's a terrible excuse to cover for the fact that quite frankly no one really cared to see another Charlie's Angels film. I mean, Matt, did you Google it, and have you come up with anything to say?
Yeah, well, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 57%, critics 80% for the audience. But I've there's no audience for future audience reviews. Again, I've never wait. This can't be a right review, an actual review. Charlie's Angels it's bad English. Charlie's Angels at greatest movie that anyone can watch. This one is going ready to number 2 great action movie next to Terminator Dark Fate and the Avengers Endgame. I did not not know how to read English. That was word for word.
Yeah, you'll find some interesting things on Rotten Tomatoes when they're trying to review review.
I just nobody wanted to see. I didn't even know it happened. There was no big fanfare. I don't know any of the actresses that are in the movie. I might have, unless they're in something else that I don't know besides Stewart. Or maybe that's why she was doing SNL. That makes sense. But I never. Until you said this, I had no idea.
Yeah, like it like there was a tweet that popped up. It was was maybe on like Monday or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was 8.4 million.
Yeah, like it completely bombed at the box office because I believe that the budget was over 50 million, if I'm not mistaken. So it didn't do well, and of course the director is making a bunch of excuses as to why it didn't do well, and she blamed men because clearly men were the problem why the movie just didn't generate any interest whatsoever.
To compare it to the 2000s Charlie Angels with Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu, it opened at $40.1 million.
Wow.
So, and then the sequel in 2003 was 37.6. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't even know it was opening. I guess not a lot of people knew, anyways.
I think that was partially it, and I think it was some of the cast, and just a lot of people just were not interested. It happens, but
honestly, if you get 3 of the bigger female stars out there, promote it more, probably could have done better. But I looked at this, the 3 women I had no idea right off the top, like, oh, that's so and so. Nope.
Like
I just knew Kristen Stewart.
Like, to me, like I feel like that you needed like a Scarlett Johansson, maybe a more of a badass woman's actor, maybe a like Ronda Rousey or something like that, something that stands out more, where there's more of a clear cut fan base with that actor. But I mean,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, this is to the point of the show that we get wrestling heavy. Wrestling. And at the end of this, we got our funny story of the week that I found that is interesting. So you can go to that. But first things first, on Tuesday we had the debut of CM Punk on WWE Backstage on FS1 as a analyst and what have you. I tried to watch it. I was busy on Tuesday, so I didn't get to see this live, and I tried to get a little bit before I had to get ready for this podcast. I just saw the beginning, so I missed maybe most of the meat and potatoes.
Oh God, it was like
CM Punk, but yeah.
And like the one thing I took away from that is WWE has nothing to do with this show, and you could tell because there are no scripts. They're not trying to push an agenda.
That's all Fox.
That is all Fox. And the fact with Punk, he was like, I was stunned how honest that the whole thing was. Everything Punk said is basically everything that us fans have been saying about the current product. It's oversaturated. It's overproduced, micromanaged. The everything with the women and pushing this whole women's revolution instead of just letting these girls get over organically. Like, it's just, I was like, wow, like that's stuff that I've been saying about this product for God knows how long. And the most telling thing too was what he said about Seth Rollins. Matt, guess
I'm reading it right now.
Well, guess what the singular advice that he gave to Seth, which is by far the best advice you can give him right now, and that is to stop tweeting. And of course, Seth, of course, as soon as Punk says that, he replies back, and I'm like, we're like, damn it, Seth, just stop. But of course, he couldn't hold back, and he called him a coward. But the best things though was him burying Seth and burying Baron Corbin, that no talented hack on SmackDown. So I plan to watch as long as he's there, because Punk is going to be burying everything that I hate about the WWE. So I can't complain about that, Mr. Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny too when he's there with Paige, and like he's trying so hard to go Paige to talk like negatively about about the Roman segment, or
The Baron Corbin.
yeah,
segment.
about the Baron Corbin segment, and he was like, hey, it sucked, right? It was bad, right? And all you see is Paige laughing. She was like, stop it, you're going to get me into trouble. But the best thing was too, with when he was doing a segment with Renee Young, who, by the way, she is so much better in this role than on commentary. Man, I'm not sure if you have seen it, but
No,
it's just
I've watched Backstage.
holy smokes, she
Night
comes
and day.
But like they're talking about the Shield, and Punk, he just says hey, who's your favorite who's your favorite Shield guy?
That's funny. That's
Awkward silence there for a second or two, but she was
technically couldn't she still say Dean Ambrose because that's a WWE thing? If she says John Moxley, then the internet blows up. Your internet goes out. You have no internet. Your lights in your house go out. There is.
Cut the feed done.
You go outside. You see a mushroom cloud coming from the vicinity of New York or wherever they film the studios.
Mm-hmm. But like it was like honestly that hour went by just like that. Just like Booker, I love him in this role too. He's just like he's so easily to like and all, and I cannot speak enough to how great Renee that Renee.
That's her
Young
background.
Is. I mean, like it just she's so much better than everyone else when she's allowed to just do her own thing and not being forced to say things that sound corny, fake, not really something that a normal person would say. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Did you see the segment last week with Gabriel Iglesias? He had the promo off with him and Samoa
I didn't see
Joe.
that.
There was one part, freaking died. So Gabriel Iglesias, he goes first. He says his promo. Joe goes off, and Gabriel just for like the longest time, even after the Joe's promo, straight face. I don't know how he held it, but Joe gets into his face and says something. I don't know if he asked a question, and there was a pause, and with the straightest face, Iglesias goes, "You smell like spam." Straight face, just out of nowhere, lost my mind.
Oh,
I wish I could find that because it is hilarious.
I bet. Oh God, that's yeah. And I could probably see like Joe being completely stone faced to not.
Oh yeah,
not selling
sold
it. Yeah,
sold it like a champ.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me coming from Joe. He's pretty composed in pretty much any situation that he does there.
Yeah, I wish I can. Yeah, I think I found it, but yeah. So far I think that the I kind of like the show, the Backstage I'm talking about. I think it looks good. Again, in an hour they talk about stuff and it's legit. It's not obvious.
It's not fake or anything. So.
Yeah. Let me find this real quick. Probably get copyrighted.
I make him pay my son. Okay. Do this. All right. That was something. But all of this, it reminds me of this old Samoan folk tale that we have. It kind of a limerick thing. You might like it. See, there once was a fluffy boy named Gabe who showed up to WWE Backstage with jokes to say. But one great tactical error was made, I fear. For the fluffy boy, he drew far too near. With my arm around your shoulder, and that sweat coming down your brow. Tell me, Fluffy, why don't you tell your jokes now?
You smell like spam.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, you remind me a lot of John Cena to the core. Because with that whack promo, my friend, we don't want to see you no more.
Oh, Joe.
You smell like some spam. I lost my mind on that. But yeah, anyway. Speaking of promos and all these segues, Jim Cornette is in the news.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
If you didn't hear, he was fired from
No, he wasn't fired. He resigned. He resigned. But
okay. I felt okay. He resigned. My bad.
Yeah.
He was fired.
Let's get it right.
He was fired. He was fired. So yeah, he is a commentator for the on NWA Power. And during the match between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch, which I didn't know he was still wrestling, he said what many considered a racist statement.
Yeah.
And only in the Jim Cornette way. You know, if you know Jim Cornette, he has says many analogies when he's talking. And this was one of them that maybe went a little bit too far. And this is, I quote, Jim Cornette. He's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. End quote.
I'm like saying to myself, well, now, first of all, how did this even make air? Like, you had 7 weeks at least of TV taped, and you mean to tell me no one picked this up? That no one thought, hey, like, we probably shouldn't be saying that. No, it just like that. Like, you just cannot be that unprofessional. More so from their production standpoint, like you should have known this was going to be the reaction. Like, how did no one think hey, no one's going to really notice or see this? It's just,
yeah, it's guilty on both sides.
there is no defending this. Like, I don't want to hear, like, people are just being over dramatic or are being snowflakes. No, like, this is stuff you cannot say on an open forum like this. Like, you know, I mean, and I am a Cornette fan, but like, there is no defending this. Like, nothing. That's it. Like, I'm sure that he would probably Cornette will probably talk about this on his podcast.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, but like, I'm very interested to see what he actually says. I'm sure like he'll probably parry a few people like he typically does. But like, if you are the NWA and Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana, you had to do this. You're just like, they had no other choice in the matter.
Yeah, I mean, but still, if it was taped, you edit stuff out. Hell, when SmackDown was taped, many times there were times when the announcers, they would have to go in a studio and record lines or add stuff post and post production, just whether they did it, they messed up.
Hell,
live.
I remember when Taz and like Michael Cole were complaining to Paul Heyman about that because he said, like, you know, because he wanted the show to like stand out from everything else, and like they didn't really understand how important that some of those things were. But then after they found out, like, oh, this is why. I mean, it's just like it's just being a professional company, and just like even after you completely tape it, someone should be seeing over these shows again and thinking and just seeing, hey, if there's anything that really stands out that we need to take out, add
If somebody
in.
watches the show,
Right.
and listens, and you got to listen to what's being said, and watch, camera angles, see if it comes off as good as you want it to be, and for that to be overlooked is shocking to me. There's no way it just went, okay, they hit record, show's over, stop. There's no way on the show like that. But it's going to be interesting to see what Cornette says on his podcast. We'll probably hear it, if not tomorrow, over the weekend. But other news about what people said, we had a Twitter war between Tony Khan and Randy Orton.
Oh, this was so entertaining.
In response to a CM Punk tweet, here's CM Punk's original tweet. Is it weird trying to catch up on 5+ years of wrestling? I'm doing what I can. There's bright spots, mostly women from what I could tell. There's bad too. I'm going to talk about it, and no one is safe. Join us. Tags Renee Young, tags WWE on Fox, Booker T, Paige, Vince, and strangely enough, Tony Khan. Which Tony Khan responded, "No one is safe? Sounds like a plane full of wrestlers in Saudi Arabia." Burn. Which everybody was all up in arms about. Not bad, but, going crazy. And then Randy Orton chimes in. And he goes, what's the whole thing about glass houses and stones? And he links a story about his dad, the owner of the Jaguars, being investigated for corruption.
Which was over a year ago, by the way.
Right. And then Tony Khan obviously responded, "I thought you only tagged me in your post when you were grasping for leverage. The article's over a year old plus. The article's over a year plus. It's about baseless claims made about my dad years ago. That's the best thing you can do. Nothing. Meanwhile, in the time since that was written, you used the N-word on Twitch." And then that's pretty much a big thing. I think Randy Orton said something more, but I don't think it was as good as.
Oh yeah. He said like hashtag Jacksonville Dixie, which I'm like.
I think he said something else too.
I
think he did.
I think it was something to do with his contract, but it was just funny.
It's just fun to watch it.
Yeah, some people who were get mad. They're like, why are these guys going? I'm going back and forth. I'm like, it's not that big of a freaking deal.
If you get upset with that, then you should have been like entirely upset with like Seth Rollins and like Kenny Omega. But that was fine. But it's I don't see what the big deal was.
They were just. It was just friendly jabs and it's like what Cody Rhodes said. Wrestlers talk to each other. Like, it happens. Yeah. So I'm not gonna really get up in arms about it. It was fun to see, and it was way more entertaining than anything going on with Monday Night Raw. So yeah. So yeah, Matt. Anything more to add to that?
Nope. It was just fun to watch.
All right.
Yeah. And then we have what we talked about. John mentioned in the top of the show. Jordan Myles released from WWE to the shock of no one.
Actually, I was kind of surprised that they actually cut him just based off of WWE's whole thing in not cutting people, but
tells you how how low they think of him with that whole issue.
Well, and did you see any of the transcript of Triple H's conference call with the media this week?
Not about him.
Did you see what he said about wrestlers requesting for their releases and stuff like that?
I kind of read some stuff, but I didn't specifically.
Yeah, so basically what he said essentially was like, hey, do not go out on social media. Do not go out to the actual media. Handle it with in-house and so on. There's just a few problems with that. When these guys do try and be professional, they've been essentially told, no, we're not gonna cut you, and it's frustrating for a lot of guys because they're in a company where they're either are not being used, they're really are not being taken seriously. So like I mean credit to ACH. He did well like he could, although he burned a lot of bridges in the process to eventually get his release from the company. So yeah, he is now free, but I can't imagine that AEW or Ring of Honor or any other promotion would even think about signing him. Like he did a lot of damage here. But like I think, and Matt, you and I have spoke about this. I think he has just been really frustrated, and I think a lot of other guys in that company are just frustrated because they have so much talent there, and like this comes back to a point where WWE has way too many wrestlers, and they don't know what to do with these people.
I think it's just mostly the shirt. Okay, you're not used, you're frustrated, yeah, but then I think it just came down to the shirt, or he used that as an excuse.
I think he was just doing everything possible to force her hand.
And to me that looks bad, regardless. You're not used, but maybe you're not ready.
Well, yeah, because of that, who's going to realistically sign him now?
He's the Kaepernick of the wrestling world right now.
Yep.
I'm sorry if that's a strong opinion, but it's and not
you're not exactly wrong right now. I mean,
not discrediting race. I don't want that to come off like that. But like when you burn too many bridges, it's just bad optics.
I think if he was just blaming WWE, it would be fine. But the stuff that he said how Jay Lethal and calling him and Uncle Tom and burying Ring of Honor, like I just felt like just said like just turned away a lot of people, and like it turned a lot of people who supported him. And speaking of being unprofessional though, and like we kind of read this before we aired the podcast. Supposedly Ring of Honor fired their current women's champion, Kelly Klein. And this was also confirmed by her husband, who I believe is a producer in AEW, and basically tweeted out that she got fired. Not by a phone call, or in person, but via email. So pretty much she got like stone cold when Eric Bischoff fired him in WCW. I don't think that it will take long for her to get some work. I could easily see her in AEW, especially with her husband there.
I thought AEW said they're not going to hire any more people.
But I think like Jericho said that though. So I mean, if Cody Rhodes said that, I would like maybe buy it, but I think like you and I can completely agree though, Matt. Their women's division is by far the weakest part of other companies. So like the more talent that they can get, the better,
Yeah, but then I don't know. They need to worry about building what they have instead of putting too many cooks in the kitchen. But transitioning over to NXT and Dynamite, NXT won the war. Well, won a week. I don't say won the war. That means it's over. Finally beating Dynamite in the ratings for the first time since the two started on head-to-head on Wednesday.
And it was by what, 23,000 viewers or something
Something
like
it's close, but regardless. So NXT had 916,000. Dynamite had 893,000. NXT was up. Dynamite went down overall. But below me find the demos. But AEW still had the 18 to 49 demo,
which is I feel the key thing that needs to be looked at here.
Which I don't have the numbers, but they topped. AEW drew 0.39, NXT drew 8.30. Not as much as a difference compared to last week, where AEW had a 0.43, NXT had a 0.25. So the good thing on NXT, on that point of view, they closed the gap within 0.09. So that was good on that point. So relatively close, if you think about it. But
and kind of the main thing that I took away too was that they didn't really take away a EW's audience. It was more, I think more like SmackDown and Raw viewers were there because the fact that the 18 to 49 ML was pretty similar, very little difference. And
I think maybe they took they took the, I want to call it the swing viewers, because I think to say they didn't take any was because that's wrong, because they went down.
But it was essentially the same. Just like there was more like viewers because of people like Seth and Becky and
well, even though true,
all of them being there,
even though the surprises of who could be there, which I still believe was a thoroughly enjoyable episode when I watched it. Today. I watched pretty much both shows today after work to get caught up, and thoroughly enjoyed NXT. All went down. Enjoyed
Dynamite 2 was also really good.
It was really good. There's some complaints I have on that show.
Production, it was my number one.
Yes,
thing
which affected my overall.
Between that and the freaking ref,
we'll get into that. I saw that.
Go off on that too, but
so let's get into let's just go quickly over the shows. I really don't want to spend too much diving into it, because in shows past we get too much into it, because we have other stuff to talk about real quick for previewing War Games and Survivor Series, and that'd probably be quick too. But let's first get into AEW. Show up. You know what? And talk about production. I didn't like how the show just started off with pyro and not their opening video and stuff. It just happens it's AEW pyro. What?
Yeah. I think and this is still something that they really need to actually learn here. It's you don't need to put on so much stuff every single week. Like if you are cutting it too close, cut it out. We don't need 10,000 things happening every single week. Pacing of this show just needs to get better. But definitely the number one thing that was annoying though, and was the audio of the of the commentators.
I was gonna say that,
yeah.
And I was gonna text you before you arrived here, and I was gonna say it seemed like the audio was the ring stuff around the ring was loud, but
it was completely cut out. It was,
and then the commentators were too low.
Yeah. I even tweeted a few times at them. I'm like, hey guys, can we turn up the audio on the announcers? I can't hear a freaking thing here, but besides all of that, my God, what a clinic between Phoenix and freaking like Nick Jackson. Like that was like 15 minutes of just balls to the freaking wall, just kick the hell out of each other, and once again at the Bucks, they continue putting over guys. And wow, yep. So like in Phoenix One, Matt, any thoughts on that match there?
Yes, I have something that is not too much. It's not so much critical of these two wrestlers, but critical of wrestling in general. There was a point there where they had like they were just taking super kicks back and forth, and one time Nick Jackson super kicked Phoenix. Phoenix fell back and immediately did a kip up and kicked him. Like, to me, you're getting kicked in the face. I don't think you have time to do a kip up when you got super kicked like twice or 2 or 3 times before that. To me, and that again, that's not just for them or AEW. I've seen that in other places too, and I don't know. I just feel like that's way over the top in terms of suspending disbelief. Besides that, my gripe on that, like for like what you said, it was a good match. It was a great opener, good clinic.
I think, and
it was nice to see a one-on-one match between these two.
And I'm hoping that this is going to start putting both of like Phoenix and Pentagon into singles, because as good as they are as a tag team, I feel like they have way more traction and like singles are both of those guys there.
Yeah. We'll see. I think the next match was Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida, which there's a lot of Asian women.
I will say,
not bad, not a disparaging thing, but I just noticed every time I turn on, there's like another Asian.
I will say this though, Hikaru Shida, I feel she actually has something in 2E2. There is something there.
She was the most impressive I've seen,
and
so far.
Honestly, I feel like that this was probably AEW's best women's match that I've seen.
I can't really argue that.
Like her and Baker worked really well here. They need to get that title off of Riho. But I just put it on someone else. I don't want her as champion.
Another thing that bothers me, because at the end that Shida won, is that Shida won over the number one contender for the women's championship, which to me, like, doesn't that bury the number one the contender?
Not really, because like I believe she was like 2 or like 3-0-2. So like she hasn't lost yet.
No, I think she got some. I don't think she's undefeated.
Actually, check on AEW's rankings. They have them posted on the.
But
on the
to me,
website.
like when same thing. If you want to make champions look good, but I feel like you want to make a number one contender to your championship look good.
Well,
and if
I
she
think,
loses, where are you?
I think their whole thing was to get Hikaru Shida over and get her as the number one contender.
I don't know. I think you could do it with somebody else, but then again, you don't have anybody else in the division.
Right. Exactly.
So it's a lose-lose.
Rome was not built in a single day. There, Mr. Matt.
I think it was built sooner than this women's division. This is like, I don't know, just stuff like that. Where is the roster? Well, anywho, I'll find this as we talk about other stuff, because I'm not going to sit here for hours talk about. But whatever. It was, again, like you said, probably better women's matches on Dynamite. I don't know if this was the time when this happened, but there was a Dark Order promo video
which was very interesting.
Which is very interesting, to say the least.
It's a cult.
I didn't want it, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Which I didn't want to bury it. I was gonna bury it. Then I realized, because it was like the cheesiness, but I went step back, been objective here, and went, well, the first Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse was cheesy, and look how that turned out, one of the best things in wrestling. So I went, okay, no, can't do that. Let's not be negative.
Well, and to now,
If this was, see, what ruin is, if this was the first thing to introduce the Dark Order, I think it's about okay, would be okay.
It would actually be pretty
interesting.
Interesting.
But the thing that killed them is that you've seen the Dark Order now, and nobody likes it.
Right.
They're damaged. They have to rebuild so much fan interest.
But I think too, at the same time, that we're finally getting some actual backstory. Oh, who are these guys? Okay, now, and these are the small things that AEW is finally starting to understand. We need to give these people some sort of a persona. Like, who are these people? And like, just simple things like that will eventually get these people over. And speaking of getting over, La Champion. My God, like,
he's the best part. I'll say this until it doesn't happen. He's the best part consistently
every single week
that I want to tune in and see, because he's head and shoulders above everybody on that roster so far, in terms of just of promos.
And man, Jake Hager spoke.
Sorry,
Jake Hager. Sorry.
Which was funny. He cracked this. He was cracking some smiles. I don't know if that was by design or he was losing it.
I think like I'm Jericho was like
broke him.
Probably broke him.
Another again fantastic promo by let me scroll down here because
La Champion.
We'll have to go back to the one match that I don't get. So another good promo. And as expected, I would have assumed SCU came out after Scorpio Sky pinned him last week. So they had this promo between the two, and a good promo. There was a part in that promo
I was dying laughing.
There was a part of the promo that took it down a peg for me in terms of logic. When Scorpio Sky was like, I don't deserve a title match, and Chris Jericho was like, you don't deserve a title match. Pretty much like, yes, you do. I'm giving it to you. In what world will a heel champion say, you know what? I agree with the face needs a championship. No, I was like, that can't come off just like
it was weird. Like,
corny.
I was like, I
didn't like it.
What'd you think about the line with
turn La Champion to le
yeah, or no? How would you react when Scorpio brought up his high school crush in Jericho?
I died. I got Scorpio side. My high school crush messaged me, and we're all going on a date, and the crowd popped, and then Jericho says, "I saw so and so, and she gained a lot of weight after high school."
I was like,
and then he goes, I like big butts, and I
cannot
a lot.
Lie. like that had me dying there, but eventually, basically announces for next week, Chris Jericho will defend his AEW championship against Scorpio Sky.
Which I don't like.
Logical. He freaking pinned him, so
that part's logical. How they got to it and how they announced it, I don't like it.
Yes,
that makes logically makes no sense.
Yes.
In terms of that, but in the terms of the overall, he deserves a title shot. Yes, I totally agree. Just how they went to it, I don't know.
Okay,
but and then the announcement was that that he's going to get the long thank you he long demanded from management and all that, and have a big party and all that fun stuff, which should be interesting. I think before this, there was this. The one thing I don't get what the final point is of this, was the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Where the last two remaining fight for the AEW Diamond Ring.
Yeah. They didn't really explain this
it just
at
appeared last week, and I'm like, what is this?
The only thing I can think of that the ultimate point to this is to obviously to get MJF more over, to get some more steam behind him, because in my opinion it makes no sense for freaking Hangman to win this year. Like, no. This feels like a complete heel tactic that you do for a certain guy to get him more over.
This whole thing, this diamond ring thing.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna like boo this, but this whole thing just reminds me of like what it could be an Andre the Giant Battle Royal. You win a trophy.
Right.
What happens?
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay.
I'm not gonna really disagree with that, just because we weren't really given any explanation.
It was just like, you can win a diamond ring. Well, okay. Why?
I will say though, Orange Cassidy is he is a treasure. Like, he's just standing in the corner there, just freaking chilling.
I hate him and love him at the same time.
like him and freaking Billy Gunn just staring at each other had me laughing there.
So pretty much, this battle royal was full of couple people you haven't heard in a long time, but some relatively big stars. You had MJF, surprise Billy Gunn, Kip Sabian, Jungle Boy, Hangman Page, Chuck Taylor, Joey Nutelli Janelli or Jelly Nutella, as Jim Cornette calls him.
It doesn't matter what his name is. He's a geek.
He's a geek. Sonny Kiss, Orange Cassidy, Trent, Pentagon Jr., and Jimmy Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
and Jimmy Havoc, for whatever reason, just began stapling people.
I'm starting not to like him.
I've never been a really big fan of him.
All he does is just hardcore crap.
Yeah, like
wasn't not Jungle Boy. Who's the other one that weighed on?
Marco Stunt.
Wasn't he in this? Or he appeared later on in the night.
Yeah, or
is that where he was from?
No, he was in it, but yeah, and we forgot to talk about that, but yeah, let's finish up with this segment here.
A couple things. Sonny Kiss was with twerk with Billy Gunn. MGF eliminated him for some heel heat. Sean Spears interfered and hit Janela with a steel chair. He was on the.
Is this feud continuing?
Was still on the top rope. Kind of hit him. Kind of not really solid. When I first saw it live, I was like, he missed him. And then at one point, Billy Gunn was going to eliminate MGF, who was hanging outside on the ropes, and Wardlow, I want to call him Wardlord, and I'm going to call him that from now on, Wardlord. He came out and distracted Billy Gunn, and MGF rolled in the ring. We clearly saw that, and we clearly saw him roll out, and the announcers were like, where did he go? We're down to the final four. Obviously, Wardlord is out on the ring tending to...
Wardlord?
That's his name? Wardlow. I'm saying Wardlord. That's what it should...
Wardlow.
I hate the name.
Wardlow.
It sounds too much like Wardlord. And that's
Don't
what I'm calling
you disrespect Justin... Don't you disrespect Justin LaBar there. He named him Warlord.
It sounds so much like Warlord, and I want to say it. I'm calling him horror. If Jim Cornette can say jelly, Nutella, or whatever crap. I'm saying Warlord.
Well, the difference is this guy actually has like some talent. Jelly Janela doesn't have any talent.
He has talent with a funny name. Anywho, and this not knowing that the announcers knowing that MGF got eliminated, I had to go back and watch it again and make sure I wasn't missing anything because I obviously thought, oh, he's still in the match. So I went back and I was like, I see him roll back in the ring and anywho, little nitpick, but obviously it came down to Jungle Boy and Hangman Page. And everybody's like, oh, there's the two, and then MGF comes out of nowhere and eliminates Jungle Boy. So it's down to next week?
Yep, next week MJF versus
Hangman Page for the Diamond Ring, my precious.
As I said, I would be stunned if MJF does not win this match.
Stunned. When I saw him in the Battle Royal, I was like, he's winning.
Yeah, exactly.
We
forgot to talk about the Jericho segment. Eventually, Inner Circle comes down and beats the crap out of SCU. This eventually leads to the Jurassic Express, and holy hell, Luchasaurus is over everywhere, man.
He is. I felt like it would have been more logical since they were fighting later on Private Party to come out and attack Proud and Powerful and then lead into that match.
But I also think too that they wanted to plant the
I know they wanted to
plant
plant
seed with Hager versus Luchasaurus, which I am really interested in seeing. It just like, to me, like, it continues to be shown every single week. If they do not somehow at some point make Luchasaurus a like world champion, like, there's that, to me, would have been a giant missed opportunity.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just feels like that the layout was not right, because then they lay out them, and then Luchasaurus had a match with the Librarian, which I fast forward through because the Librarian
lasted 5 seconds.
But it was 5 seconds I didn't have to watch. I fast forward through that.
Just freaking squashed him.
But I feel like what happened to the invisible wall? If Luchasaurus comes out and attacks you, if you're proud and powerful, like, to me, I would have had Private Party come out and attack Proud and Powerful, which would have segued into the match, and that way LAX. I'm calling him LAX because I hate that name.
Or Santana and Ortiz.
No. Instead of going back and then again come back out later again with their entrance. I don't know. To me, logistic-wise, it didn't make any sense. But regardless, Luchasaurus, what is in this drink? Luchasaurus is over as all hell. And he's really growing on me. The only credible one in that whole group. Because Marco Stunt, Punt, Pint is not. No.
Like, I'm honestly fine with Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy. Yeah,
I'm fine with him, but yeah, I'm with you too.
It's like Goldilocks drinking porridge. Marco Stunt, too cold. Jungle Boy, too warm, not bad. But Luchasaurus, just right.
It's just like he's
believable.
Like, at some point, he's going to turn heel and is going to be a huge star. But for the time being, he's a mega baby face who I'm not sure if there are 3 other people over, like outside of like Jericho, Cody, and maybe Kenny, or
Moxley.
And like Moxley, like it just the consistent reaction that he gets every single week. Like it's just like he was out for, I believe, like 4 or 5 weeks. Like he did not lose a single step. The crowd is just incredibly hot every single week that he comes out, and I just there's a lot of good things that they can do with him, and and as for like future tag champions, I mean right there, I also feel too, if Luchasaurus did not get hurt, they were probably, I feel, going to be tag team champions.
Probably.
Because
I couldn't.
throughout that whole summer, they were booked really strong. Like they were gearing towards them, I think, being those guys, but obviously once Luchasaurus went down, that pretty much
we got Private Party versus Proud and Powerful.
This
PP versus PP.
Yeah, this disappointed.
The big thing was the botched ref count.
Again, second straight week. Can we please get this fixed?
Sunset flip by Cassidy, I believe. And there was 1, 2, and nothing else happened. And the rest stopped counting and immediately looked back. So there was a missed spot that I forget who was supposed to maybe pull the ref out. But yeah, I saw this online before I watched this. I was just
someone like Mr. Spot there, clearly. But guys, can we please get this fixed? Like this is like basic things here. Like it's not that hard. Just get it together.
And it wasn't like he was that far from.
Right. But before the match started, both teams, they were honoring a fellow indie wrestler who like tragically died. I believe it was 1 or 2 weeks ago. In a tragic car accident. They hung up a shirt on the apron of a fellow indie wrestler.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, like a Matt Travis. So like that was leading up to that. But this all, match wise, I felt like it could have been better. I was surprised to see that LAX lost this year. But to like with the interference from like Nick Jackson, so like obviously that feud is going to be continuing with LAX and the Bucks there. So now Private Party get a pretty big win. We still don't have clear cut number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. I wish that we had like some more clarity with that, but hopefully over the next few weeks we'll get some more,
and then
clarity.
Yeah. And then Sammy Guevara attacked Jackson. Then Dustin Rhodes came back with a cast and hit Sammy Guevara. Sammy G. Shorty G. All right, wrong person. With his cast, and so a good spot there. Dustin Rhodes is back. Moving on to the main event, we had Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. Darby Allin, this little promo video with him in a body bag, and then crowd surfing in the body bag, and then people carrying him on the stage, and he comes out of the body bag.
What'd you think about his entrance there? Like it was pretty unique there.
It was unique, weird. I guess if this was a one-off.
Yeah.
Forget.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. It was unique. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly.
I mean, like the one thing that I took away from this, they clearly are building Moxley to eventually face Chris Jericho, like that freaking finish with that paradigm shift DDT.
Oh, that looked terrible.
Like Darby Allin sold that like a champ, man. Like that made that move so devastating. I was like, that was a really good way to end that match. But like Moxley just, man, it's just like I just continue to say every single week, he is so like he's so cool. Like that is the one thing that I say every single week. He is cool. Like the direct opposite of a certain guy, a similar like a certain guy, former Universal Champion that I could think of. But I'm very interested to see where they actually go with Moxley because he's essentially beaten. He's like beaten Kenny, and now he's beaten Darby Allin. I do think that there's going to be another match with Kenny and like Jon Moxley, just based off of how Kenny has been acting. So yeah, I'm intrigued, but Matt, any guesses to where they might go with Moxley now that he had a very decisive win over Darby Allin?
I think, like you said, eventually the championship. I don't know where else you can go.
Yeah, I mean, that was essentially it. But a pretty solid episode of Dynamite. Outside of the production issues and a few things here and there, but like every single week, whether it is NXT or even Dynamite, these shows kick ass every single week. Wednesdays are saving my wrestling fandom. Like we suffer through those god awful Raws and SmackDown for these shows. So like I will gladly deal with any or small things that clearly both shows do, but you know there's so much better good than and bad. Like I'm emotionally invested right now, and that is the one thing that I clearly cannot say about both Raw and SmackDown right now.
Moving on to NXT, we had the show start off backstage with William Regal out by the backstage door. In comes Becky Lynch with a huge pop from the crowd. Becky Lynch hits the ring, cuts a promo, and gets interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Ripley says, "You call yourself the man? Let's see if you have a set of balls." And ref gets in the ring, and we get a match, which was a solid match between the two before we have some interference. The one thing I want to say about this show, I think every match, at least in my opinion, was just pretty good, hard-hitting.
Rhea Ripley just has so much star potential within her, like just based off of her presence and her look in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's going to stand out from everyone else on the show, and like she's really over too, and you can clearly tell she brings a certain badass and a coolness that is, you know, it's pretty awesome to see. So it was weird seeing Becky back in NXT, just because if you recall, she was sort of the like forgotten one of the
Four Horsewomen,
because like she was never seen as someone who is going to be all that big, and now you could probably make the argument she's probably their most, outside of Charlotte, is their most important woman in the company right now, you know.
And then near the end of the match, obviously, Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir come in, interfere, and Lynch and Ripley fight them off. I believe other women that were are going to be on the Survivor Series team, and the oh wait, no, that was later in the night. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, just Ripley and Lynch fight them off. We move on to Ricochet versus Matt Riddle, which originally was supposed to be Kona Reeves versus Matt Riddle. He
sucks.
And
excuse me.
You okay?
I need some water.
Get some water. I really haven't seen him, so I don't know. H2O. And then Kona Reeves gets to the ring out of nowhere. Ricochet lands a drop kick and takes him out, and it's going to be Ricochet and Riddle, which was a great match. During the match, we had Cesaro and Nakamura appear, which allowed Riddle to do a roll up for the win, and then
Fowler?
No. Cesaro and Nakamura came back in, but Ricochet did a little dive out to Cesaro. Then Roderick Strong came in. They attacked Nakamura, which I like because they're fighting in a triple threat match at Survivor Series, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then since Riddle was left, Finn Balor came out and attacked them to continue their little feud for War Games. I thought this was well done. The crowd was into it. You have multiple storylines, everything happening. Everything to me made sense. And I think it was well done. Good match up until all the interference happened. Moving on, we have Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish versus The Revival. This, to me, was the match of the night between these two. Very well done. It's good to see The Revival back.
It kind of too just outlines just how like a misuse that they have been on the main roster too, or more specifically on like Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. But again, I would go back and watch this match. This is tag team wrestling at its finest. Even the crowd was chanting tag team wrestling.
Enjoy them while you can, guys, because because I believe that these guys' contracts are up in like May or June, I believe. Up until this point, they have not re-signed their contracts. So, like, enjoy them while you can.
I think they're doing that for leverage, possibly.
Well, yeah, I don't play that, but let's continue though.
Oh, you don't want us to go to AEW? Money.
Oh, I absolutely want them in AEW.
Well, I'm talking about for them. If they want more, if they want to stay, you use that leverage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, if they want to stay just strictly for cash, I mean, hell, you resign with WWE because supposedly they were like offered for per guy was at least $500,000 per year, and supposedly they have turned down those deals. Right?
Next we had Kaylee Ray, the NXT UK champion, against Dakota Kai. And for some reason, honestly, when I was laying down watching this, somehow I fell asleep and I woke up middle of this match, so I missed the beginning of this match. But at least for me, Dakota Kai is impressed me because I haven't really seen much of her before NXT went to USA.
She definitely has a girl. She has a girl next door.
Yes,
feel to her.
I kind of like Dakota Kai.
Yeah. I do too.
But Kaylee Ray got the win, keeping that title champion strong. Then Team SmackDown came out. The women that were involved there, and then Team NXT came out, and Team Raw got out, and Nikki Cross was the last one standing with a black trash can lid and just wiped people out. Made her look strong. Even though I sometimes, especially with the women, when they get hit getting hit with a weapon, it looks too choreographed. Kind of got this opinion from watching this. It was just okay, hit me now.
Yeah, and especially if you have seen any Alexa plus some hardcore spots, yeah. So,
but yeah, Cross looked good there to build SmackDown. We had the Forgotten Sons versus the Viking Raiders, or since it's in NXT, the War Raiders.
Yes, the War Raiders.
At least for me, this was a surprisingly good match between the two. I think besides on the main roster, Raw or SmackDown, this is the most vulnerable we've seen the Viking Raiders look in a match, if you will. But Forgotten Sons still looked good. Another solid match. Every match, in my opinion, on this show was good. You can critique here or there, but I think overall wrestling between the two shows, I think NXT won. And in my opinion, of course, that ref botch on NXT that AEW doesn't help.
Yeah,
takes points off. But regardless, Viking Raiders get the win. I would assume because they are the champs, you want to make them look. You don't want them to lose going into Survivor Series. You want to make everybody look good and incredible.
Booking your champion strong, something that you would think that both Raw and SmackDown would know, but apparently not.
And then the main event of the night was the ladder match for the War Games advantage between Adam Cole and Dominik Dijakovic.
The freaking heels always win these matches.
Yes.
Always win these freaking man advantages. Like even back in WCW, the freaking babyface teams never had the advantage with this.
Still a solid match, very enjoyable. I liked Dijakovic at the end selling the knee. I guess the surgically repaired knee. I forgot he has surgery on it.
Yep.
Trying to use the ladder that was set across from one ladder in the ring to the turnbuckle as leverage to get up. Slowly getting up, selling it, which I liked. And then Adam Cole came up, grabbed the briefcase, hit Dijakovic in the head, and he fell back off the ladder, through the ladder that was set up horizontal, and went through it a little bit, broke it, and Adam Cole gets the win, which I am not surprised.
No.
But after the match, we get another brawl, which was fun. Everybody in the men's, you got Raw side, SmackDown side, NXT. They're fighting outside the ring.
And who comes out, Matt?
Drew McIntyre. We'll get to who you were leaning to in a second. Drew McIntyre hits
that's what I want to talk about.
Claymore kick. I forget on who. And then who came out?
Dijakovic.
Who laid it was a power bomb. I think it was Keith Lee.
Yep, Keith Lee
power bombed
Ask in his glory.
Which that power bomb looked nasty.
Keith Lee he makes everything look so devastating.
And then Rollins came out and
who got massively booed, by the way.
Booed and was going to do the curb stomp to Adam Cole. But who else? Oh my God, I just watched it. Who came out? Tommaso Ciampa.
Daddy's home.
And what I appreciated that he went for Adam Cole first outside the ring because he still wants the title.
He wants Goldie.
I'm drawing blanks on here. I'm an expert. He attacks him and then goes back into Seth Rollins. So I like how he continually wants to attack Cole and wants Goldie, wants the championship. Goes from that to Seth Rollins and get the brawl to end the show. So we're building to this weekend, building at least in the pit stop to SmackDown, because all of this is going to happen again on Friday, or as you're listening, already happened. But let's quickly move on to the fun weekend we have in store, starting tonight when you're listening. War Games. We got 2 War Game matches.
By the way, have they even determined who's taking on Riddle's spot yet?
No, I think that's going to be a surprise.
If I had to guess, it has to be Velveteen Dream, but there's also a rumor that it could possibly be John Morrison, who has been rumored to
that would be interesting
to have signed with WWE. They are just trying to figure out a way to
a little bit of the undercard here. We have Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest versus Killian Dane for the #1 contendership for the NXT Championship, which will take place on the next night on Survivor Series.
Yeah, I would personally have Pete Dunne win here. I do think that at some point that Damian Priest is going to be a champion, but since the match is happening on the very next night, I don't think that it would be smart to completely hotshot a title change. And if you are going to have Damian Priest in a title match, you aren't going to be having him. You're not going to have him lose here. So I think I would go with Pete Dunne. But
I think Pete Dunne's a safe, but
yeah,
I wouldn't surprise. It wouldn't surprise me if Priest gets the win and then loses the next night.
But that is what I would do anyway.
Then we got an interesting match between Finn Balor and Matt Riddle.
Oh, this is going to be a clinic. I cannot this. This is probably the one match I'm really looking forward to. As good as both of those War Games are going to be, like Balor versus Riddle is in some aspects a dream match for a lot of people, and just the overall intensity between both guys, just with them fighting on the outside and everything, this definitely has match of the year contender.
This can still show.
Absolutely.
And then we got the Men's War Games match between Undisputed Era.
By the way, I would be picking Balor going over on Riddle.
Me too. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then Men's War Game, Undisputed Era versus Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and a person to be named later, which we just talked about.
I would think that's probably Velveteen Dream.
That's the safe bet.
But I mean, who knows? But I would think that they're probably having the Undisputed Era win this. All since they are all champions, it doesn't really make any sense for them to lose here, and especially with how strongly the NXT books its champions. I think that's probably where they are going. What do you think, man?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. Now, if John Morrison debuts, do you really want to make him lose on the first night as a team? I don't know. It's going to be weird. This is almost a toss-up for me, but at the same time, going into Survivor Series, you kind of want your champions to look good.
Exactly. Which is why I think that
it's a tough one.
Which is why I think you need to have the Undisputed Era go over here.
It depends what happens, but let's say to me the safe bet is Undisputed Era. Yeah. And we have the Women's War Game match between Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and somebody to be determined versus Ripley, Kansas LeRae, Mia Yim, and Tegan Nox. I totally forgot that Bianca Belair was a heel. I totally missed when that happened. But regardless, it's going to be interesting to see who is the. Oh no, not the person to be named. It's Kaylee Ray. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading this article. It must be. How old is this article?
It has to be a few weeks old.
It's on the 19th. It's 2 days ago.
Who was writing this here?
Damn it, CBS.
Oh my god.
Damn it. What 7? Okay, wait. Here's 7 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kaylee Ray. Look, I'm reading. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. So, I'm gonna assume I'm gonna go that. I know we want to protect it. See, we're gonna have two hills.
I don't think so.
I think Ripley's team's gonna win.
I think Ripley's team goes over here, just like either like Jessamine Duke or like Marina Shafir will probably eat the pin here, but like I would be shocked if like Shayna or Kaylee Ray ate the pin here. They do not have their champions look weak at all. So, and I don't see that changing anytime soon here.
Yeah, and then the next night we have Survivor Series, which in compared to recent years,
honestly, if you're just looking just strictly at the card, like it's not a terrible card. It's actually a really good show.
I think honestly, with all three matches, I think this is. I know we have all the Raw versus NXT versus SmackDown, but compared to other shows in the past, I think just the build to these matches is better than we've had in the past.
There's just a problem. I feel, Matt, there is like absolutely no reason why these people are facing each other. And number two, they're outside of the obvious, and like number two, there are zero consequences to any of these matches, and it's like I mean like, and like I'm not saying having something extremely out of like freaking freaking left field, but how about, hey, whoever wins a certain match gets like a number 30 in the Royal
I think
Rumble
it has to be whoever wins, whatever brand wins the most matches.
Yeah, like it just doesn't feel like that there are any consequences. It's like, okay, whoever wins, okay, so yeah, I just wish that they had some sort of like award or something for these for these guys and girls here, but we really never got any of that. And it's like what Ryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer said. It's just like there's really no reason to care outside of like, hey, there are like really good people in all of these matches, and they're going to be really good. But as we saw last year, the consequences really didn't matter. So yeah, but that was my whole spiel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
So we already talked about Adam Cole versus whoever. Adam
Cole's gonna win.
Adam Cole to win.
Yeah.
Women's Survivor Series elimination match. You got Team Raw, which comprises of Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Kabuki Warriors, which is Asuka
and Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane and Sarah Logan out of nowhere. Versus Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross versus Team NXT, which we talked about a couple minutes ago.
I mean, like,
I think this is the match that had the least build,
which is why I think that NXT might actually win this, because
I felt like they should.
And honestly, throughout a lot of these matches, I'll be rooting for NXT for all of them, but
yeah,
like
I know you would.
I'm hoping that I'm just hoping throughout this whole entire night that NXT does not get shut out, because but if they did, everyone's going to be like, yeah, and everyone's going to be like, so what was the whole point in putting these putting NXT out there if you weren't going to even poke them to win a single match. So I'm hoping that they don't pull a SmackDown last year. So
yeah. I don't know. I guess NXT in the men's. We have Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Orton, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet. That's a hell of a team. Against Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Ali, Chad Gable, Shorty G, and Braun Strowman versus Team NXT.
Raw's going to win this, I feel. I would be kind of stunned if they don't here, honestly.
Roman must pose. Team SmackDown. I joke, but I wouldn't be freaking shocked if they pull SmackDown to win that match.
Yeah, because with like Fox and everything, yeah, I could see that.
It would not.
I'd
laugh.
Team sucks too. Like
that's why I think they'll win.
That team is so bad,
and I think that's why they're going to win.
Oh god, that's going to piss off so many people.
Oh god,
that's going to piss off so many people.
At this point, if there's no consequences, I just want give me a good match.
Right,
and
who cares, right?
If SmackDown, if you're a complaint out there, internet, is if there's no consequences. If they don't pin or whatever the wrong people and get in a good order. If SmackDown does win, why are you going to be upset?
Because
if there was consequences, then with that team beating Raw or NXT,
because they will view it as a corporate thing and not actually putting over the team who has the most talent. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
In the long run. Now, if it's done, if it's like SmackDown doesn't lose a single person, and they go straight shut out everybody else. Right. There's your problem. But if done right, give me a good match, have it booked right in a respectable manner that it protects everybody involved. I don't care. Men's Tag Team Championship, Viking Raiders representing Raw versus the New Day on SmackDown, which I feel like it should have kept. Why they take away a rival versus the Undisputed Era. The fact that they put New Day in there made me suspect they want to put New Day over. Because why take the Revival out?
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the Undisputed Era win here, but yeah, I think that they're probably putting it over.
I expect this can be a sneaky match of the night. Mm-hmm. It has potential.
I could also see a disqualification too.
How are you gonna have a disqualification in a triple threat match?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a triple threat. But haven't they done?
If you could have two non-contestants in Hell in a Cell 2 years in a row,
yeah, right.
Something can happen.
Right.
But anywho, I'll say the New Day. I'll pick the New Day.
So it's like New Day, Undisputed Era,
Viking Raiders.
Oh, okay. I completely forgot that they were.
Just said it, John. You have the headphones on, John. Wake up.
What?
This could be this. Pretty much most of these matches could be good. I mean, there's a dynamic between all these people. I could see a Big E going after Big E going after one of the Viking Raiders, having that stare down. Disrespect. Going on to the mid-card champion triple threat match. You have AJ Styles with the U.S. Championship, Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Roderick Strong, the North American Champion.
AJ Styles is winning this.
I was going to say yeah.
Yeah.
But I have no reason to expect this match not to be good.
If this match sucks, then
you quit? Rant?
I'll just be like, how do you have a match with AJ Styles, Shinsuke, and Roderick Strong, and it's somehow not really good? Like that will be the one thing that I would ask myself about this.
Then we move on. We have Becky Lynch from Raw versus Bayley from SmackDown versus Shayna Baszler from NXT.
I'm hoping Shayna wins here. Bayley to me is just super annoying right now as this like emo heel who just is clearly trying way too hard to get heel. He is coming off really, really fake. But I am gonna go with Shayna here. I do think that she will pin Bayley, and I would be shocked if like Becky got pinned here.
I'm torn between Lynch and Baszler, but I can see maybe.
I could even see.
I see Bayley taking the pin.
Yeah, like I just because clearly I would be shocked if Triple H allowed any one of his champions getting pinned. I guarantee you, he will say, neither one of these women better, or neither one of my champions have better be getting pinned.
I feel like we need some wins for NXT. So, you know what? I'm going to go with Baszler.
Yeah.
Then we have the Universal Championship between Bray Wyatt, The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan.
I will be shocked if Fiend doesn't go over here.
Shocked, absolutely shocked. Color me surprised.
Like, I would not understand why that they would not put over.
If this is anything like their Royal Rumble match when we were there,
oh god, that was crazy. Like, and that was arguably his best match in the company ever. Like, even to this day, I feel that was.
If we get
Bray's best match.
If we get anything close to that, yes.
Yeah.
With his new character, who knows if he fights like that. But hopefully this is good. This is one of the matches that's scary for me.
Yeah.
But I don't see why it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, a match that I think has been built up very well is Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio. Now, no holds barred. No disqualification, which no holds barred is.
Honestly, I don't know who's going to win here. I really don't know, because I can see both guys winning here, because I do feel at some point that they want to do a Kane versus Ray feud, and I feel like there's probably no better guy to like guide him along through a program than Ray. So,
or if they bring back and do another follow-up match against Brock,
exactly,
which doesn't need the title.
No.
If you want to promote that, like, well, we're a couple months away, maybe a Mania thing.
Honestly, that's probably what I would do, because technically they are tied. They are tied 1-1 because they are counting Kane just annihilating Lesnar from their.
And then unfortunately he was injured this second time, but we talked about that before. But they built this up with Rey Mysterio passion attacking his family and talking Kane. Some is recent in terms of WWE is one of his best works and promos in the company in a long time. I would totally expect Dominic to show up here, definitely because of this no disqualification.
Has to
like that. Yeah, has to. And if they want to take the championship off of Brock, you have Dominic avenge the attack Brock Lesnar, and Rey Mysterio gets the pin, becomes the champion. I believe this pop could be a good pop.
Not to mention too, you need to have that title defended, and like it's being reported that this is probably Lesnar's last appearance until WrestleMania season. So I think it would not be a bad idea to put the title on Ray here. Yeah.
Because it's no holds barred and all that, and you get the interference,
right.
Believable way. to get it off of him. If this was playing 1-on-1,
Oh
no.
yeah.
But it could be, if you get that lead pipe, a good way maybe to write Lesnar off for a while with quote unquote injuries. So I'm picking Ray.
Yep.
I'm going to be
there
disappointed if Lesnar wins,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good story, redemption story from the attack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's well done. They could do it perfectly on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And this can eventually lead to a heel turn for Kane, where he's kind of bitter that somehow like a Ray beat Lesnar for the title.
Possibly.
So like I feel like there is more to gain with Ray as champion than,
and you can
than
have
Brock as
other
champion.
matches with other people, and you
Right.
still have.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple things you can go to.
Exactly. So that's
Something
why.
more fresh.
Exactly.
Because again, the roster is way different than the last time.
And just as long as he doesn't have a feud with the corporate suck up and like Mr. Rollins, yes, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So a lot of wrestling this weekend, a lot of matches to look forward to. Again, this Survivor Series match, Survivor Series card. Really looking forward to. Years past, it was just there. Survivor Series kind of lost the meaning, but I feel like maybe not all the way back, but this year is more, there's something to it, even though there's no consequences like we saw or talked about. Let's end the show because we're a little over 2 hours here with the funny story of the week. And this one comes to us from Hilton Head, South Carolina. So apparently, a man went to McDonald's for sweet tea and I believe other things too, and he asked for light ice and extra lemon. But when he got the drink, it tasted a little funny. Didn't know. Kind of just blew it off, and he got felt a little weird, felt a little high. Took off the lid, and guess what he found when he opened it? He had there was a couple bags, I think 3 bags. Let me get this right. Yep, 3 bags of weed in his cup. You know, it says here in this story, I'm gonna have links below to there's 2 stories here because I want to make sure this was real. This is in the Huffington Post. He now believes extra lemon was code for marijuana. Yeah, I like extra lemon. Get the weed. Yeah, he says Brown, the guy who was last name Brown, said he never had marijuana before, so he didn't recognize the taste. He paid regular price for the items. He got 3 bags of weed. And he says he only realized that there was weed in there when he was, quote, high as a kite.
Yeah, I mean, damn.
I'm McDonald's living up to the slogan. I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ordered 10-piece box of chicken nuggets, a double cheeseburger, and a sweet tea. Yeah. So he said he was high and panicking at work, so he called his dad. He didn't want to get in trouble for this. Oh man,
brother.
So Hilton Head, South Carolina, McDonald's. When you want to get high
As hell.
High on the dollar menu. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else to add, summarize, complain about, rant about?
No, we have done enough talking, and I'm tired. So, on that note, thank you guys for watching. We will be back. I'm not sure.
Watching. What are they watching?
You are watching a podcast, but you guys know what to do. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell for when future videos are coming out. I have not asked Matt this, but like maybe we will do if I'm not completely comatose like the last time. Maybe we will think about doing a NXT War Games podcast after it airs, maybe. But until then, and
anything for Survivor Series that. That's a school night. That's a work night.
Yeah, like
and that goes long.
And I want to see
Sleep.
the Austin and Taker
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's
on
fair.
that too. So, but thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you next time.
We have spoken.